That's a wrap on face reveal. Oh my gosh, hi, I missed you. You know I have a flair for the dramatics. But it's so good, right? I'm so happy, and it's still me. It's just a little bit softer of a version.
Hang up. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Intel has told us there are at least 7.
Okay, I already see one. Give him. Okay.
They're the same picture.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I'm generally a live and let live guy, probably a little too much, as some of my viewers have said, but I have some questions about what's going on within, like, the mainstream media and their perceived worship of these, biological men acting like women, or many have claimed, for example, donning woman face. Someone like Dylan Mulvaney, who has literally made a career out of their transition to womanhood, or whatever it is that they're calling it, is worshipped by the media. And it's really just a huge concern for, I think, the society. This is what our media thinks is important. This is what our media thinks is cool, and you should know about it. You could see trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney gives, quote, face reveal after a feminization surgery. Now, I'm of the mindset, look, when you're an adult, you can do whatever you want, for the most part. But I do have some concerns with some of these doctors. You know, this, okay, they got some plastic surgery, whatever, low risk. But when you're talking about, like, someone who's, 18 on the dot, cutting off whole parts, and then, posting it on the internet and talking about how freeing it is, I'm concerned that there's at least a non-zero percentage of people that are doing this because they're still confused, or that they want clout, or that the doctors that are doing these procedures, I don't feel like are living up to the do no harm part of their oath. But nonetheless, on Friday, TikTok influencer Dylan Mulvaney released a video revealing the results of facial feminization cosmetic surgery, a procedure the social media star claimed was life-saving. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. We have this whole terminology now called gender affirming, right? It's important that I get this surgery, I alter my body, or I would have literally died. There's actually, very little evidence around this. We don't know, because we've really only been doing these surgeries for a short period of time in general. But they are often reported by the media as if, like, they are the most important thing that they could have done. And, it's tough, because in my position, I live and let live. But where my concern starts is when you start, like, advertising this to youth, and you start, placing it as a lifestyle, something cool to do. And you see, that's a wrap on my face reveal. Oh my gosh, Mulvaney said. I missed you, blah, blah, blah. I have flair for the dramatics. And if you look at
do this before bed to stop receding gums.
Why is there? Oh no. Well, I'm not going to watch.
Decaying teeth before it's too late. 25% of adults over 60.
So I'm not going to play the audio here, as I'm sure it's like some sort of, copywritten music. But yeah, this is, the pageantry, and oh my God, this is so empowering and so powerful. All men, it's like the same thing that you see on Twitter, where it's like, how come men don't wear more dresses? What's stopping men from wearing more dresses? What's stopping men from dating biological men who get their face altered to look like women? It's all like, feels like it's being pushed on men, essentially. There's this whole movement of, like, oh, you don't want to date a biological male? You're a bigot. And of course you see. And I just hope that not all trans and non-binary people can get the gender affirming resources that they need, because this is life-changing and sometimes life-saving. Okay, I'd buy sometimes. So thank you for supporting me. We've got much to catch up on. The second portion features him posing as if in a film premiere. The third portion is a direct address to the audience. You know, this article writes, gender affirming care is a euphemism used to refer to a person's medicalized changes, typically including life-changing puberty blockers, hormone treatments, and surgeries. This term is frequently deployed when speaking about young ones who often identify as trans. In October, Mulvaney, who has referred to women's junk as Barbie pockets, was invited to the White House and spoke with Joe Biden about gender-affirming care. In the interview, Mulvaney, who once identified as a gay man, then non-binary, then a woman, said that trans people aren't going anywhere and that trans kids deserve a fighting chance to be their true selves. Hey, I agree with you. I just don't want, people on TikTok pushing them towards, life-altering surgeries or taking pills or all this kind of stuff. And you see Jess writes, Dylan is just another man who thinks he's a girl because he likes to dance, sing, and play dress-up. If you don't see how offensive this is to women, you're blind. There's been this great push to erase women and, quite frankly, replace them with men, biological men. I'm not sure exactly what's driving it, but this is perhaps the most obvious and insidious misogynistic force in modern era. Like the idea that, so many of the opinions of a lot of these folks are just deeply against women. A lot of these, these biological men who seem to hate women end up becoming, transitioning. And, you see in this, this post, Ollie London writes, YouTube does not have any age restrictions on Sam Smith's degrading spicified new music video. 5-year-olds can search this up and watch with no content restrictions. Sam Smith, this is not art, this is not trendy, this is not empowering, this is monstrous. Now, yeah, the video is gross. Again, I'm not going to say that it shouldn't exist. Music videos, have always kind of pushed the boundaries. Remember, old Tool videos are pretty wild. You could look at 9 Inch Nail videos, pretty wild. I mean, even Madonna videos back in the day were probably pretty wild, and a whole lot of other things. But, I would argue that at least it's reasonable to want some sort of age gate on a video where a guy is like walking around in pasties and, I don't understand why people are so like against treating these individuals like anyone else. That's all I think you would want, right? Why do we give special treatment? If it was a biological woman who Sam Smith clearly identifies as or whatever, walking around with pasties on and all this stuff, I think I would want that video age gated too. Adults, you can watch whatever you want. You can see in this video, Sam Smith set Twitter ablaze over the weekend of releasing a music video featuring hyper spicy scenes, including the British songwriter wearing clasps and having liquid blasted in their face, as if to, of course, well, I don't need to tell you what that was supposed to look like. Smith, who identifies as, non-binary, sorry, not a woman, and used they, them pronouns, released the album titled Glory on Friday. The new music, blah, 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 blah. I'm not here to make any friends, don't care. And I think, like, I guess, you see what Dominique Samuels writes here. Sam Smith is a perfect example of what degenerate Hollywood culture does to people. It makes celebrities vulgar, hyper-spicified, and obsessed with wearing it like a costume and shoving it in everyone's face. And it makes matters worse, kids look up to this. Look, I don't want to get in like the conserva boomer world of where we need to ban everything. And if something, is not my bag or I think it's a little gross, that I want that I want stuff banned. But, an age gate I think would be reasonable. But I think like we've seen the galactic powers of they, them in the media where like you don't have to worry about any real criticism or any real pushback because the media is afraid to say, hey, I don't care what you identify as. I don't think this video is appropriate for kids. I don't think it's appropriate for kids to be consuming Dylan Mulvaney content either, in my opinion. To me, Dylan Mulvaney is a walking billboard for life-altering procedures and also glorifying it because he's used these things to become famous. And kids now, the number one thing they want to be is some sort of TikToker or influencer or YouTuber. And they see like, oh, well, I'm 12 or 13. I'm a little confused about things. Not only can I, do this, but I could get super famous for it. People never talk about that aspect. There's some, level of trendiness, popularity that these influencers are selling. And this is a part of it, right? Getting your body altered is a part of it. That's how Dylan Mulvaney got popular, is doing these things. So it's just as much a part of Dylan Mulvaney's brand as, the woman face that he so clearly presents. It's an insult to women, and this guy's worshipped in the media, and this biological male is worshipped in the media. It's absolutely just not okay, and it's a massive, disrespect to biological women. But see, over the last 10 years, the media has been working on degrading men. If you look at modern television, men, especially white men, are often pretty much only relegated to the butt of the joke nowadays. Now they're coming for straight women. It's because nobody said anything when they came for the men. No one stood up. Now they're coming for biological women. They're in your sports and in your acting roles and literally in your spaces, in your locker rooms. But nobody said anything when they came for the men, right?